Best of the two. The king of Magadha had two queens. Both gave birth to two sons on the same day, almost at the same time. They were named Amarsingh and Jaysingh. As the princes grew up, both were found equally clever and capable. Both showed the same bravery in the art of fighting as well. But Amarsingh excelled Jaysingh in horse riding and fencing. Jaysingh excelled Amarsingh in riding elephants and wrestling. The brothers loved each other very much. The king was getting old. He was beset with the problem of choosing his successor. Both the princes were dutiful and charming in their conduct towards him. Whom to give the kingdom? The king and his minister discussed the issue for several days, closeted in a private chamber. They had no doubt that the best among the two should be chosen as the future king. But who was the best? The two brothers, of course, had not the slightest idea about the discussion that was going on between the king and the minister. Just then, the king of Kaushik made an announcement about the marriage of his daughter. All the princes of the neighboring kingdoms were invited to participate in a competition. He who would excel all would marry the princess, the announcement said. It was a good opportunity, thought the king of Magadha and his minister, to try Amarsingh and Jaysingh. They decided to send both the princes to Kaushik and see who stood first in the competition. At their father's instruction, the princes proceeded to Kaushik. A number of princes had gathered at Kaushik, but in various rounds, Amarsingh and Jaysingh defeated all of them. Finally, the only two competitors who rivaled each other when all others had been eliminated were the two brothers. Amarsingh, of course, had excelled Jaysingh in horse riding and fencing. Jaysingh had excelled Amarsingh in riding elephants and wrestling. But when their total records were examined, both were found to have scored equal marks. The king of Kaushik could not decide whom to choose for his son-in-law. He wanted some time to declare his decision and sent all the princes away. Then, after a long discussion with his minister, he announced that anybody who would be able to prove who of the two brothers was preferable to the other could marry the younger princess and get half of the kingdom as reward. Soon after the announcement was made, a young sage accompanied by a disciple appeared before the king and claimed that his disciple would be able to convince the king that Amarsingh was the worthier of the two. With the king's permission, the disciple said, "My lord, Amarsingh excels in horse riding and fencing. Jaysingh excels in riding elephants and wrestling. Tell me, who is in a convenient position, a man with a sword riding a horse or a man without a sword riding an elephant? If a fight takes place between the two, is not the man riding the horse and handling a sword likely to triumph easily on the man riding an elephant and wielding no sword? Hence I say Amarsingh is to be preferred to Jaysingh." The argument was convincing enough. The king was happy to be able to come to a decision, and instantly the sage and his disciple put off their disguise. They were Amarsingh and Jaysingh respectively. The king of Kaushik performed the marriage of his two daughters with the two princes and made Jaysingh the king over half of his kingdom. The king of Magadha was delighted. His problem was solved. Now that Jaysingh was already a king elsewhere, there was no hesitation on his part to make Amarsingh his successor. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Do provide your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for listening.